And hello YouTube, it's Hayley and today I am filming my very first video, yay! I must have put this video off for, I don't know, probably a good 2 months. I mean, basically if there was a trophy for top procrastinator, I would win hands down, no competition. So this video was basically brought to mind when I was looking at the Christmas period, and usually the Christmas period, you know, everyone's happy, it's coming to the end of the year, they're going to spend time with family, but for quite a while in my life, Christmas was a period of existential dread, and that was likely due to the fact that I had to work retail extended shifts. Now, I have worked retail for quite a few big companies, not naming any names, but basically if you walk down the high street you're sure to have passed them maybe twice, considering there's usually 3 of them on one single road. And these stores have interesting clientele sometimes. You can have celebrities, royalty, and also just some plain weirdos. So today I'm going to share some of my top stories for these crazy stories that I've had in retail. Okay, so when I first started working in retail, my retail store was pretty much based inside a train station. You had lots of people going in and out, it was quite busy, very high stress compared to most other places I worked. So let me just kind of set the scene. You wake up in the morning and it's still dark, even in summertime. That's how early you usually need to get up. You get in there and you're already tired at this point, it's still dark, and you start your shift with a lot of disgruntled travellers that have to catch the first train in the morning. Usually that shift isn't so bad compared to the lunch shift, but we had an interesting fella come in and he had one of those water levels that you use to actually measure if something was straight, and he just kind of sauntered up to the fruit and veg aisle, didn't really think anything of it, and he was rummaging quite a lot through the banana bin. Usually people just take the one off the top and then it's fine, because we usually sell out quick, so there's nothing that goes bad. And he would measure each one with his water level, and we couldn't really understand why he was using that at the time, but then he eventually kind of looked frustrated, grumbled something to himself, and then kind of walked over to us at the tills, and he said that he was looking for a banana, but he asked us if we had any straight bananas, and they had to be perfectly straight, like literally 180 degrees straight. And we just all laughed in his face. I know that sounds terrible, but we thought basically he was joking. So we were all sat there laughing for probably what was like a whole minute, until we realised that actually he was dead serious. He wanted a perfectly straight banana and it had to be measured with this spirit level, and it was also that it can fit into his lunchbox. And I was kind of a bit confused on how to answer him. I mean, how do you tell a guy that basically bananas just don't work that way? They kind of just grow curved. But he was insistent that you can get straight bananas, perfectly straight bananas, and he demanded that I find him a straight banana, and if I couldn't find a straight banana in the bin of bananas, then I would have to somehow straighten one out for him in the back. Now,
and just for those that are thinking, but Hayley, what if he was drunk? No. Absolutely not. It was so early, even the local alcoholics hadn't had their first drink yet.
I still wonder to this very day how exactly he would straighten his bananas, or how at least he thought it would work. Like, does he get an iron out? Does he sit there with like a steamer, kind of ironing out all the creases? Does he grow them straight? I mean, I have no idea. Eventually, he got really frustrated with me telling him sorry, but they're all kind of curved. And he went and called the manager. And the manager came over, listened to him, somehow maintained a straight face, and then said, Hayley, can you just go and find this man a straight banana, please? And I kind of gave him a face like, well, where am I supposed to go with this? And he's like, oh, just go into the back and straighten out a banana for him. Of course. So I went into the back. There must have been like 200 bananas that we had in storage, and I was literally sat there with a colleague saying, is this straight enough? Do you think so? No, it's got a little curve at the end. I don't know. And eventually we just had to go back to this man and say, look, no. Right, so the next story I have happened in the same place. I'm not actually sure what exactly triggered it, but we basically one day had a riot, like a full-scale riot that had started with protesters that just happened to be just outside the train station. And it was quite a scary day, actually. They had loads of security come out, but the security couldn't handle it. They were starting fires, smoke bombs, the entire thing. And I was just in the middle of my shift at the tills, and then I noticed that the store was just filling up with smoke, which obviously I said to a colleague was highly irregular. So we basically looked outside and we saw all these rioters that were beating up each other, screaming, shouting, setting fire to things, stealing stuff, and we thought, oh shit, we need to get out of here. A security guy who was looking very panicked and stumbled out of the crowd into the store told us all to barricade ourselves in the staff room. So we had to tell the customers, basically, I think it's time that you left. We had to evacuate all the customers, or at least let them know that they should be skedaddling. And so I went around to the customers quickly saying, sorry, there's an emergency, we're going to have to close up shop now and you're going to have to leave for your safety. But there was one customer, one woman who just wasn't having any of it. She was in the fruit section and she had a pineapple which she was particularly keen on. And I told her, look, sorry ma'am, but we're going to have to evacuate. There's a riot coming outside. I mean, I'm sure you can hear it and see the smoke coming in. So we're basically going to have to close up shop to protect ourselves. And she said, no, you're not. And I said, sorry? She's like, no, you're not, because I haven't bought this pineapple yet. What? So basically I was saying, look, they're starting fires outside, they're beating people up, you need to go. And she's like, but what about my pineapple? And just put the pineapple down and leave. And she's like, no, I am making dinner tonight for 15 guests. I am not putting this pineapple down, and you are putting it through the till and I am paying for it. And it's like, no, I'm not. Sorry, ma'am, but I'm not. And I don't know why she was so obsessed with this pineapple, because, you know, there was even like a guy in a freaking balaclava which was right next to us, and he was just stuffing food into his pockets, trashing the aisle, and she was still stood there as if none of that was going on, as if there was no smoke or fire bellowing anywhere, and saying, no, you are gonna serve me this pineapple. And I just kept saying to her, getting more and more panicked, look, I really think you should just go. This isn't something to be messed around with here. And she eventually got so annoyed with me, and she did what any self-respecting Karen would do and called the manager. Which, you know, in any normal circumstance, I know that people get annoyed with this, but I don't really get annoyed with that request that much, because when they get that fussy, I mean, they're that responsibility is just way over my pay grade anyway, so I don't mind going and getting the manager. The only problem in this situation was the managers have already barricaded themselves into their office, and they ain't coming out for anyone. They ain't coming out for no one at this point. So that ain't an option. So this woman, she had this look in her eyes like she was gonna do or die for this pineapple. She really was not moving. So eventually I just had to give up, and I just went into the staff room before they locked it. And I don't actually know what happened to that lady in the end, if she got her pineapple or not. I imagine that she just walked out the store with it since everyone else was looting, but you know, yeah, I wonder if she had a good life with that pineapple at the end of the day. So that's it for my crazy retail stories today. If you want to hear more, let me know. Subscribe, hit that like button, and leave a comment down below. And also, just have a moment's silence for those retail workers that you know will be going through the same thing. Because let's be honest, with these stories, no one's really original, and you know it's going to happen again and again. Bye!